Before 1912, the world of drugs was not a hidden underworld. It was a perfectly legal, openly celebrated part of everyday life. Morphine, cocaine, and even heroin stood proudly on pharmacy shelves, advertised as modern marvels of science. These substances crossed oceans on merchant ships and moved across continents like any other prestigious commodity. There was no stigma, no criminality. Drugs were not seen as a danger, they were seen as progress. The drug market did not exist in the shadows, it was part of daily life, woven into commerce, medicine, and society. People purchased these substances openly, carried them in their pockets, and trusted them as symbols of a rapidly modernizing world. Behind this calm, respectable facade, a vast global machine was turning. At its center stood the British Empire, the largest dealer of opium on earth. From its plantations in India, tons of the product traveled along imperial trade routes, generating immense wealth and reinforcing colonial power. The trade was so valuable that nations even fought wars to protect or challenge its flow, conflicts driven not by ideology, but by the extraordinary economic weight tied to this substance. By the close of the 19th century, this commerce had become a normal part of global life. Opium and its derivatives moved from continent to continent with no international oversight, bought and sold with the same legitimacy as tea or textiles. It was an enormous unregulated marketplace accepted as an ordinary feature of the world economy. Meanwhile, a new force was rising, the United States. Shaped by a strong Puritan identity, many American reformers believed that these substances represented a moral corruption. Influential voices argued that drug habits came from cultures they viewed, through a deeply racist lens, as inferior: Chinese immigrants, minority groups, and the urban poor. This rhetoric fueled a powerful movement that demanded international intervention. As America's influence expanded, so did its ambition to reset global standards. Driven by morality, politics, and the desire to assert itself on the world stage, the United States led the push for international regulation. And in 1912, at the Hague Convention, the major powers signed the first global agreement to restrict the production and trade of opium and related substances. Before that moment, drugs were not clandestine. They were a legal, respectable cornerstone of global commerce, sustained by empires and accepted without question. But the rise of new powers, the force of ideology, and the clash of cultures transformed everything, and from that point on, the drug market would never be the same.